Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the new Barcelona cards on eFootball. They've added 5 and we're getting 3 of them for free, just like last week with Bayern. Same deal because Barca won the league. So you get one spin from your inbox, you get 2 from doing an AI event, which is nice and easy. And then if you want one or both of the remaining ones, it'll be 100 coins a spin. So 5 players in here to look at. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description. So if you want to hear about a particular player, to click on the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. We'll start with Koundé. We'll work around the pitch. So Koundé these days is a defensive fullback. He used to be an extra frontman centre back, but at some point, I think it was maybe with the big update last year, they changed him to a right back. That's a good thing with the highlight card because it means he's one of these cards where you can train him as a centre back and you make him better as a centre back than he used to be when he was a centre back. If that makes sense, I think most people understand that by now. But yeah, he's one of these sneaky glitch centre backs. But of course, you can use him as a right back as well with the defensive fullback playing style. Of course, he's got a face scan. All these guys are going to have face scans. He's got unwavering form as well. And then skill-wise, got a really good selection skills defensively, heading and aerial, and we've got man marking, search and blocker, sliding, acrobatic, fight spirit. Defensively, he's got everything you need. Soul control as well is a nice bonus. But as a fullback, if you're going to play him as a fullback, you might want to give him 1 or 2 passing skills, maybe pinpoint crossing, albeit defensive fullback won't be getting forward too much. That's not too important, but certainly I'd look at maybe a couple of passing skills. He's not particularly two-footed as well, so outside curler might help as well. So passing and outside curler maybe be the skills I'll be looking to give this guy. But let's find out how good he is. Let's jump over to eFootball Hub and let's train him up. So as a right back, it looks pretty decent. He's certainly got good speed. The acceleration is a little bit on the low side. Physical contact and balance are okay. Jumping's great. He is quite short, but for a fullback, I mean, well, for a centre-back, he'd be short. We'll look at him as a right-back first, though. So, yeah, the height's kind of average for a right-back, really. So the jumping's great, really, and he's got aerial superiority as well. Yeah, the physical and balance are all right. Stamina's outstanding. Defensively, he's really strong. And down the left there, he's absolutely fine for a fullback. Even for an attacking fullback, those attributes are okay. So, yeah, as a defensive fullback, he looks pretty strong. To be honest, you could spare some. If you like a real defensive fullback, you're not too bothered about getting on the ball and being able to pass the ball and stuff, then as a real out-and-out defensive fullback, you could take all those points away from his technicals there. You can nick 1 off lower body, keep the speed at 90, nudge his aerial at 1, get his physical contact up to the 80 mark, and then get his acceleration to the 80s, balance up to 80 with 1 point left. Stick it on passing. Yeah, as a real out-and-out defensive fullback, if you're not too bothered about getting forward at all, I think that kind of build would probably work a bit better because he's still all right down the left, to be fair. You've not taken that many points from there, but it's enough to get, like I say, the physical contact and the balance both to the 80 mark. You've got the acceleration over the 80 mark as well. So yeah, the defensive fullback looking pretty solid there. To compare it to other versions of him, we've had a bunch of player of the week versions of him, 3 or 4. He's been a defensive fullback, attacking fullback. He's been an extra front man. I had that card ages ago as a right back with the extra front man playing style, which is odd. There's also a build-up centre back version in player of the week. The fullback cards as a fullback are pretty similar. But the one with the booster, I think a Champions League one does go a bit higher. As a centre-back, none of them can compete with this one, really. We'll look at him as a centre-back in a moment. But yeah, if you got one of his player of the week cards as a right-back, you might feel you don't need this one. Play style is probably the one thing that might make a difference. In terms of highlights and trainable versions, he's had a Showtime card. Obviously, that's his best version. But as I mentioned, he used to be a centre-back, and now he's a right-back. You can make him better as a centre-back than he was when he was a centre-back, which doesn't sound like it makes sense, but anyone's been playing the game for a while and knows that there are some cards that are a full-back that can simply be made to be a better centre-back than you think they would be or should be, and this is one of them. So when he was a centre-back, the best trainable centre-back versions are no better than this one as a centre-back, really. The left column on this one, because he's obviously a full-back now, he ends up being a bit better than those previous ones. So yeah, I'd say as a centre-back, he edges even the better highlight cards when he had that registered position as centre-back. As a right-back, he's definitely better. But if you look at the highlight cards of him where he's got a right-back position, there's only been a couple. There's one in the Barcelona pack, the recent one. I know there's the recent free version of Koundé as well. And both those two, to be honest, are slightly better than this one. Not a massive difference, but if you got one of those two, you don't need this one. It's not going to be an upgrade for you. Compared to his GP card, they barely touched his defenses or his physicals, really. So the attributes that are most important as a centre back, they barely really boosted. It's mainly the left column's had a bit of a boost, it seems. It's one of these cards, we've seen it with quite a few highlights recently. If you auto allocate his GP card, his GP card is actually slightly better in certain areas, which you think is ridiculous, doesn't make sense, but it's because on auto allocation it allocates more points. So he's not actually better in those areas. It's just the way the points are allocated. This card is obviously an upgrade on his GP card. So just look at the way the points are allocated. But it is only a slight boost though. And like I say, as a centre-back, barely any boost really, which is kind of frustrating. Just depends how you train him, but he's still good as a centre-back. So that build there, like I say, as an out-and-out defensive fullback is what I would do. If you're going to use him as an attacking fullback, I mean, you'd have to put the attacking instruction on him to get him to start bombing forward. To be honest with the auto allocation, I'd stick with something like that. Maybe just needs a bit more dexterity. Nick some off defending. You could even nick some off aerial there as well. Get their dexterity up to 9. I'll probably just do that. But are you going to use Koundé as an attacking fullback? You're going to put the attacking instruction on him? I'm not sure that's really worth doing. I'm not sure many people would do that. But like I say, though, as a centre-back, you can make him a very good centre-back. At least the previous version you can. I got the previous free one as a very nice centre-back. So as you can see, those defensive attributes are absolutely fantastic. The awareness engagement 96, tackling 94, aggression 91, fantastic. Down the left there for a centre-back, really nice. Very decent pace for a centre-back. Jumping's good, albeit it needs to be because he's not the tallest. Something to keep in mind with Koundé, especially with a lot of people spamming crosses these days. Physical contact is the one thing that lets him down a bit. That's the one concern with Koundé as a centre-back. 83 for me is not high enough. For some people, you consider that might be okay. If it's okay for you, great. You've got a really nice centre-back in your hands. Just a slight concern over his aerial ability. For me, that physical contact is not high enough. So I would take 1 off defending. To be honest, I'm okay going below 90 aggression. I'm going to go down that far. Just leave the tackling at 90. You can get his aerial up to 12 there. I think that's worth doing. 2 points left. Get the low pass and drip ball control to 80. Nice. I'd probably do that. Not everyone would do. You might not want to sacrifice the core defensive attributes there because he's absolutely fantastic there initially, but because he is so good there, you can afford to take a few points away. And like I say, in my personal opinion, it's really, really important to get a bit more physical contact on a centre-back when it starts at only 83. So I think getting that to 88 is great, and you also obviously you get the jumping with it as well. So I think it's well worth getting a few more points onto his aerial there. Getting the physical to 88, jumping to 97. See the vertical reach there, still only 271 is still not great. That's a big concern. Ideally, you want that well into the 270s, I think, on a centre-back. And if your opponent's going to be spamming crosses to players like Collar, etc., you probably want it to be around 280 or so, something like that. So yeah, 271 is not great for vertical reach, even with 97 on jumping. So I think it's well worth putting those points on there. And yeah, like I say, it's a very nice, nimble centre-back. It's just that aerial concern really with Koundé. So if your opponent's going to be spamming crosses, he might not be so great. And those 2 previous versions of Koundé, the trainable right-back versions, the free one and the one in the Barca pack, are a little bit better than this one. But if you didn't get either of those, this is a solid one as a centre-back. And as we saw initially, as a right-back, he's pretty tidy as a defensive full-back as well. So yeah, it depends what version you got of Koundé. You may well have one already that's better than this one. You might not need it, but if you don't have a good version already, or maybe if you've got a previous version that was a centre-back, this one might turn out to be a better centre-back than yours. So I think for a lot of people, it could be a pretty handy card to get, even though it's not necessarily the best version of Koundé. Let's look at Pedri next. So Pedri, obviously a face scan. He's an orchestrator, centre midfielder. Got a few midfield positions he can play. Unwavering form again. Very two-footed, that's always nice. Skill-wise, loads of good ones going forward. A few skill moves there. He's going to be lovely on the ball, soul control, heel chicken, outside curler, one-touch pass, through passing, pinpoint crossing. So going forward, loads. The only thing he's really lacking going forward is 1 or 2 shooting skills, but defensively there's nothing. So that if you're going to play him deep in the midfield, you might want to give him a few defensive skills. But let's jump over to eFootball Hub. We'll train Pedri up. Let's see how good this Pedri card is. He's pretty tidy, as you would always expect with Pedri. Every Pedri card's a good card. We've had quite a few versions of him at this point, loads of Player of the Week versions. This is a decent version of him, though, to be fair. For a free card, obviously you're not necessarily guaranteed to get it from one of your free spins, but a somewhat free card, shall we say. It's a pretty good version. He stacks up pretty well against most of the better Player of the Week cards. He's round about a similar kind of level. It just kind of depends on what you want from him, because the Player of the Week cards, obviously, they shuffle the stats around. Sometimes he's a bit better defensively, other times he's got a bit more pace, maybe. It just varies. And obviously there's a playing style, which is probably the biggest factor of Player of the Week versions of him, because there's whole players. There's been 1 or 2 whole players. There's been a box-to-box quite recently. It's been a creative playmaker, I think, from Champions League pack as well. So yeah, playing style might be what makes a difference in terms of which version of it you prefer. It's in terms of Player of the Week cards, obviously. And then when you look at his trainable cards, highlight cards, again, this one stacks up pretty well, to be honest. I think his GP card's probably been boosted over the course of time. That might be the main reason, because these cards don't tend to be boosted that much from their GP cards. If you look at the more recent ones, the better ones, there's been one in the recent Barca pack, one in the La Liga pack, I think, fairly recently. Number 9 contract one as well. Similar level, to be honest, not a massive difference. So this is a decent version of Pedri. If you've not picked up one of those versions of Pedri, I think it's a good one to get. If you get it, I think you should be pretty happy with him. It's just going to depend on how you train him, what kind of what kind of role you want to give in your midfield. Those different highlight cards, even especially the player of the week cards, but the highlight cards even they kind of tweak different attributes, and sometimes they're a little bit better defensively. I'm sure one of those recent ones was better defensively. Other times he's got a bit more balance or whatever. So yeah, certain versions might be better in certain ways, but this looks like a tidy one. From his GP cards, a pretty even boost I've given him. Defensive engagement has had the biggest boost, interestingly. Again, when you look at his GP card on auto allocation, it looks like he's better at defending. That's because they allocate more points to defending on his GP card when they auto allocate it. So just keep that in mind. He's not better at defending on his GP card. It's just they allocate more points if you auto allocate him. So yeah, obviously he has been boosted from his GP card, but yeah, defensive engagement the biggest boost. But yeah, it depends how you're going to use him. If you want to use him as a DMF, you're really going to need to give him some defensive skills, and he's not brilliant defensively yet. The engagement's fantastic, tackling's okay, but awareness 76, aggression 78. I don't know. I mean, can you spare some points? You nick one off passing. You could maybe nick one off his on the ball attributes there, but is it worth it when you only get 1 point? I'm not sure. Dexterity, you nick one from there. Let's just nick every point we can, see how good we can make him defensively. He's got loads of stamina there. Should we take 4 away from lower body? Might as well. Just want to see how good we can make him. Well, there's a concern as well. It's not just the defending. His physical contact's way too low for a DMF, so that's a big concern. We'll push up to 8. And what's that? 4 points. I mean, he's already on 12 for defending. You can't really make him better at defending, to be honest. So, yeah, I think, to be honest, as a DMF, that is probably all, or do something like that. Leave the defending where it is, because it's just not efficient to increase it any further. Every increase beyond 12, it's going to cost you 4 points each. It's not worth it. So yeah, as a DMF in some kind of double pivot, as long as you've got at least one other DMF next to him, like an Anchorman or a Destroyer doing the bulk of the defensive work, he could certainly do a job for you. He's a deep line playmaker. Obviously, he's got that orchestrated playing style, which is what that's for. He's going to be lovely on the ball, good passing. But yeah, physically lacking, defensively lacking a bit. So you just can't really give him too much defensive responsibility. So on that basis, I'd be inclined to push him a bit further up the pitch. You're going to make him a centre midfielder, still have the orchestrated playing style active as a centre mid. Take some points away from defending. It's not as important then. We'll just leave his awareness at the 70 mark maybe. I think that's a decent level to leave it at. I guess we'll have to take a bit off aerial. Or will we? I don't know. I want to get that attack awareness up a bit. Let's get that to 8. Dexterity. Bit more on shooting. Give him a bit more as a low body back. Got 6 left. Yeah, we'll give him a bit more physical contact. And that last 2 points, decisions. Where are we going to put that? I don't know, passing, I guess. Passing is pretty important these days. Yeah, centre midfielder, I'd probably do that. So he's still got a little bit of defensive ability, still got a bit of physical strength. Again, centre mid or especially defensive mid, he needs all the defensive skills. Interception is crucial. I would give him man marking block if you're playing DMF. As a centre mid, I think just interception would do it. I think fighting spirit would benefit him. That'd be well worth giving him. He's not the strongest, not great defensively as well. Yeah, I think fighting spirit and interception as a centre mid, and then as a DMF man marking blocker as well. You don't need to worry about outside curler. He's already got it, actually. And he's 2-footed. So, yeah, those are the skills I give him, DMF or CMF. You might want to give him 1 or 2 shooting skills. Depends how often you think he's going to get forward, if you're going to be popping shots off with him. His finishing's not great. He's got no shooting skills. So, long-range shooting, long-range curler, first-time shot. If you want to get some shots in with him, that'll be more important if you push him further up the pitch. Let's train him as an AMF so we can get rid of all the defending. Aerials, not as important. You might want to still give him some aerials, up to you, but it's quite a few points. Let's go up to 8 on passing, a couple more on dribbling, and then we'll give him a little bit more speed, not just for the speed, but with the kicking power as well. In fact, if we just go 1 higher on lower body, because you see we're at 86 in acceleration, 1 higher on there, we'll get a double increase in acceleration. We're going to +3 territory, so that jumps to 88. Yeah, as an AMF, I think I'll be doing that. So the speed's not amazing, but it's certainly fine for an attacking midfielder. Bear in mind, you won't have an active playing style as an attacking midfielder. That bothers some people, not everyone. Acceleration's good, balance is fantastic, stamina's fantastic, attack awareness is pretty good. On the ball, passing, lovely. Still not great finishing. You could put more points on his finishing if you want to. It's up to you. It just depends on how often you think you're going to be popping off shots with him. I think most people would prefer to keep him good on the ball and give him fantastic passing. Maybe you can nick a couple back off lower body, get a bit more on his finishing possibly, I guess. I don't know. It's up to you. But yeah, you could make him a very nice attack midfielder. You could make him a wide midfielder. You could, if you're willing to spare the position trains, you could make him a right midfielder. He does have pinpoint crossing. He's not the most rapid, but you could make him a right midfielder. If you nicked a few points from elsewhere, get that lower body back up again. Take some back off shooting. Maybe just do that. Yeah, as a right midfielder, 90 lofted, 81 curl, 78 kicking power. So he's not got a great deal of curl or kicking power, but the lofted pass is good. He's got pinpoint crossing. He'll have a pretty tidy cross on him. He's going to be lovely on the ball. His low pass especially, but also is lofted with his crossing, like I say. Not amazing pace, but he's not slow either. So yeah, if you really want to put him on the right, he could be very effective. If you want to spam a load of crosses in, he could be a very, very neat right midfielder for you. As a left midfielder, I think long range curler would be a very, very important skill to give him. I would take some points back off passing, try to get that shooting back up again. I think I'd just do that, to be honest. And I'll take that one back from lower body onto dexterity to get the acceleration to 88 again. Yeah, left midfield. Left wing forward as well. You would not have an active playing style. Again, Orchestrator is not going to be active as a wide midfielder or wide forward. But from the left, again, not electric pace, but he's got good acceleration. The balance is fantastic. He's lovely on the ball. He's got very nice passing for a wide man. We've only got 4 points on there. We've got that finishing up to 76, which is still not amazing. It's decent enough though if you're careful. But I would strongly recommend you give him long range curler. Maybe his first time shot, long range shooting as well, but especially long range curler coming off the left flank onto his right foot. And he's got the passing and the shooting. If you give him those shooting skills, it could be very nice there. I've got an old Pedri Player of the Week card that I still use quite often when the Spanish League Challenge pops up. It's an old whole player one. I think it's the first whole player version we had of Pedri, and it doesn't look as great anymore, but it's still a really nice card. Still feels great on the ball. Still very effective. So I imagine this one will be very nice as well. Just won't have an active playing style there, so if that bothers you, it might put you off. But you certainly have the option playing wide left there. And as we've seen with the other builds, as an attacking mid, it could be very nice there. Wide left or attacking mid, no active playing style, but you look at the stats, very, very nice indeed. But if you do want the active playing style, central or defensive mid, he's lacking physically, he's lacking defensively. He does need some defensive skills. Depends how much defensive responsibility you want to give him. But certainly, he's good at what you know he's good at. He's going to be great on the ball. He's going to have great passing. So it's that kind of deep line playmaker, whatever role you kind of put him in your midfield. Be very, very tidy indeed. And like I say, for a kind of a somewhat free card, I think it's a decent version of Pedri. It's one of the better boosts that any of the cards in this pack I've had. And if you don't have a very good version of Pedri already, then there's a very good chance I think you could have a very nice card in your hands if you get this one. Yeah, next we're going to look at Raphinha. Got a couple of wingers. So Raphinha, obviously got a face scan. Prolific winger. He can play left wing forward, right wing forward, attacking mid. I'll say it early on, I'll get it out of the way. I find it so annoying that Raphinha, over the course of this season, has had so many Player of the Week cards. He's even had a highlight card from a nominated contract pack where he's got left midfield and he's a whole player. And you look at the skills in this one as well. Yes, you've got crossing, but there's no through passing, first time shot, long range curler, none of that for the end product really, apart from pinpoint crossing. This card just looks so dated compared to the way he's been playing for Barca this season. He's had like 1 million goals and assists. Give him some more skills and some better ability with it in terms of his end product. Just looks a bit dated. It's frustrating, but yeah. With that being said, prolific winger, left wing, right wing, can play attacking midfield. I did at least add that a while back. Well, I'm not sure when that was actually. They might have been there for a while, but I'm not sure his passing is going to be good enough for an attacking midfielder. But yeah, unwavering form. Wide forward, either side, attacking midfield. He does have some good skills there, but end product is where he really needs a few more skills. One touch pass, through passing, long range curler, first time shot, maybe long range shooting. Did you need outside curler? Really high. Oh, he's got it already. Okay, he's got it already. Yeah, so he really is just the passing and shooting where he needs some end product in terms of the skills. But let's see how he trains up on eFootball Hub. It's a decent Raphinha card. He's not quite on the level of the better Player of the Week ones that we've been getting this season. But like I say, a lot of those are kind of left midfield and have the whole player playing style. And they do obviously shuffle them around from one to another. So depending which one you have, you might have one you prefer to discard. You might not. He's had a reasonable boost, nothing too amazing compared to other versions of him. Obviously, he's not as good as the Showtime card we had a while back, which is fantastic. It's the best version of him. Yeah, to be honest, he compares quite well to his better trainable cards, but I say he's had a good boost as much as he compares well to the better versions of him that we've had in highlight cards previously. I think that's mainly because his GP card's been boosted over the course of time, because when you look at his GP card, they boosted just about everything by 1, and that's about it really. And I put 0 on jumping. Everything else is 1 except for finishing, which is up by 4. So they've at least boosted his finishing a bit, but yeah, on the whole, it's not a massive boost from his GP card really. But I think purely because his GP card on that basis looks like it's been boosted a bit over the course of time, it stacks up pretty well compared to his previous highlight cards really. So it is a decent version of Raphinha, even if it's not been boosted much from his GP card, if that makes sense. So yeah, you've got a few places you can play him. Wide left, wide right. Prolific winger play style will be active in either wide left wing forward or right wing forward positions. If you position training for left mid or right mid, if you want to do that, he won't have an active playing style. I'm just going to get attacking mid out of the way, and we'll go to auto allocation. Can you make him an attacking mid? I mean, you can at least get his low pass to 80, but you desperately need those passing skills, one touch passing, through passing. Even then, is he going to have good enough passing for an attacking midfielder? He's lacking physical strength as well to play in the middle of the park. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. S has to be a similar story. It could be effective there without an active playing style. Certainly got good pace, can be pretty tidy on the ball, but I would like the passing to be better. But certainly he's got some decent finishing and attacking awareness as well. And if he gave him the skills, the passing and shooting skills, he could do a job as an SS. I'll just finally get centre forward out of the way, and then we'll finish up where he's obviously going to be most comfortable. So centre forward, you could actually make him a centre forward. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. So attacking awareness 88, finishing 88. He's going to be decent enough on the ball for a striker. Passing likewise decent enough. I'll still give him the passing skills. Speed 89 is decent. Acceleration 99 is not bad, is it? Crikey, 99 acceleration. Not got great kicking power. Decent bounce though, yeah. So first time shot would be crucial. Long range curler I think would be very important as well. If you gave him first time shot, long range curler, and if you don't mind the lack of an active playing style, training for centre forward, he could actually be pretty decent. I'd like the finishing and awareness to be a bit higher, but he's got some qualities there. Certainly got some qualities, so you do have that option. I'm not necessarily recommending it, but you do have that option. But yeah, let's finish up with where he's going to be most comfortable. Obviously, that's out wide. And I think I always seem to say this with Raphinha. I think he's going to be better, more effective from the right hand side. Depends on what you want from your wingers. If you like spamming crosses in, obviously you're going to look at the player's guy on the left. He's left footed. He does have pinpoint crossing. Is his crossing going to be good? Not particularly. 79 lofty passes, not great. Can we make it any better? Yes. We need a few off shooting. We'll just take 3 off shooting, leave it at the 80 mark. There's 1 on defending there. Why? That's bizarre. So there's a couple more on passing. I don't want to take any off dribbling because the 88 mark on ball control. If you take 1 away, it would dip by 2. I don't want to go below 90 on dribbling either, so I'll leave the on the ball attributes where they are. Dexterity, yeah, we can nick a few from there, easy. Lower body. The speed's great, but I'd like a bit of kicking power. Let's just see where the passing is getting to like this. Yeah, I think it's probably worth doing that. I think that's worth doing. If you want to put him on the left, then you would actually have a decent cross on him. So 85 lofted, he won't have a great deal of curl. His kicking power is not amazing, but he's got pinpoint crossing. So on the left-hand side as a left footer, definitely got the pace. He's going to be decent on the ball. Tight possession is a bit iffy. Apart from that, though, ball control and dribbling are good. Attacking awareness and finishing are decent. Balance isn't amazing, it often isn't with Raphinha, but yeah, as a left winger, spamming crosses, if that's what you want to do, could actually be effective, could be half decent there. But yeah, as I mentioned, wide right I think is where most people would put Raphinha, if that's if that's your kind of winger, an inverted winger, left foot on the right hand side. If that's the case, I'll just go back to auto allocation. Passing, I would still recommend giving him the passing skills, one touch passing, through passing. His passing is not amazing, it could be worse though. Shooting's decent. Long range curler coming off that right wing I think will be very, very, very important. I'd strongly recommend that's probably the first skill I'd give him even before one touch passing, through passing. I don't think I'll change a great deal else. You could nick a few from dexterity, but you don't really desperately need the points anywhere else. I mean, you could get the bit more on his on the ball attributes there, get the ball control to 90. That might be worth doing because he's still got great acceleration. The balance is a bit iffy. I'm not sure everyone would want to do that actually. So yeah, not for everyone. Get a bit more on his passing. Maybe that's worth doing. Yeah, you could shuffle a few points around it this way and that way. But yeah, ultimately, I think he could be very effective. Very decent left wing, like I said, but right wing with the pace, good on the ball. And if you gave him long range curler, I think he can be very effective cutting onto his left foot, getting some goals for you. So yeah, long range curler, one touch pass, through passing. He just needs end product ready with the skills. But if you do give him the skills to improve his end product, whether he's on the left or the right, or if we made him a sneaky centre forward, maybe it could be a very effective one. And like I say, compared to his GP card, it's not really boosted him much, but I think it must be because his GP card's improved over recent months. Because if if you compare it to other highlight cards that we've had of Raphinha over the last few years, it does actually stack up pretty well. So depends which way you look at it, but I think ultimately if you don't have a good version of Raphinha already, this might be a good one to pick up, whether you like a left-footed ring on the left or a left-footed ring on the right. A couple of ways you could use this guy, and it could be a decent one. Just needs a bit of end product with his skills, really. And now Lamine Yamal is probably the one that most people are interested in from this pack. Maybe it's Pedri as well, but yeah, Lamine Yamal is obviously going to be one a lot of people are going to be keen on, wondering how good he is. He's got his face going with his updated hair. Roaming flank, I like that playing style personally. He's going to drift inside, take up some interesting positions in the middle. He's got unwavering form already. Skill-wise, what we got? So we got a bunch of skill moves. You've got your ball roll, double touch. You've got the combination for that. Long range curler, through passing, pinpoint crossing. You've got most of the skills you need to be honest. You've got a really good selection of skills for an inverted winger coming off that right wing. Maybe I'll give him heel trick. Maybe it's fighting spirit, one touch pass, first time shot, long range shooting. Probably those are the skills I think that spring to mind first off that I would give him. But let's train him up on eFootball Hub. Let's have a look how good this Yamal card is. It's pretty tidy. Very tidy card this. So yeah, we've not had that many cards of him. Obviously he's not been around that long, still only 17. I can't believe he's only 17, but yeah, we've had 3 player of the week versions. A couple of them are creative playmakers, 1 whole player. All go to a similar kind of level to this one, but obviously his stats are shuffled around on player of the week cards and different playing styles as well. So again, if you've got one of those cards, you might prefer it, you might not. Slightly different profile overall. He's had a legend card already and a Showtime card. Obviously those are better than this one, goes without saying. Apart from that, it's just the free one when Spain won the Euros, and that's not as good as this one. This is not great on that card, to be honest. The main difference really, if you got that free one from when Spain won the Euros, the main difference is the attacking awareness and the passing. That's pretty much the one area where this is has been upgraded significantly. Apart from that, not a massive difference, but yeah, just for those in those 2 areas, it does mean that overall he is better. And the attack awareness is what they boosted the most from his GP card, to be honest. It's a decent enough boost overall. And like I say, it's a very tidy looking card, this. He's got great pace. Not a great deal of kicking power behind his shots. So that's a slight negative. Decent balance. Obviously very nice in the ball. 95 dribbling. Lovely jubbly. Attack awareness is good. Decent passing for a wide man. Finishing 77 is not amazing, but it certainly could be worse. And he's got long range curler. So yeah, looking pretty nice. In terms of how I train him, you could certainly afford to lose some speed, but I don't want to lose any kicking power, so I don't think I want to take any points away from the lower body. Dexterity, you could afford to lose a bit of acceleration, but do you want that balance going much lower? Obviously, we saw with Raphinha, his balance was a bit low when we took points off there. Depends how important you consider that to be. I do like balance on the player, so it's just a question of whether you really feel the need to boost him elsewhere, but you could just put him straight on shooting, and then you get that finishing up to the 80 mark. I think a lot of people would like that, would say that's worth doing. Some would argue otherwise. Some people would say that passing is not so important. You could take all those points away from passing. It depends what you want to do, really. But yeah, for me, I think I'd just go something like that. It would be nice to get that kicking power up a bit as well, but I just don't think you can really afford to spare the points from elsewhere. So yeah, tidy. It's a very tidy card. Inverted winger, left foot on the right hand side, cut inside. 1 or 2 skills needed maybe, but he's got a pretty good set of skills to start off with. It's a nice version of Lamine Yamal, this one. Obviously, we're going to get a lot more versions of him. He's just becoming an unbelievable player. But if you've not got a good Yamal card at this point, this could be a very nice one to pick up. I'm very keen to get it. I like the Roman fan playing style. It's not great on the Spain one. Nice card. Very nice looking card. In terms of other positions, has he got pinpoint crossing? Yeah, he's got pinpoint crossing. Okay, so like with Raphinha, similar situation. You could play him as a left wing forward if you position train him. Could you make his crossing any better? Because it's kind of okay-ish, but not brilliant. I would take some points off finishing. Yeah, just doing that, to be honest. Getting his lofted straight to 85, put those 2 straight back on finishing. I think that's all I do straight away. Again, like with Raphinha, you've not got an amazing amount of curl, certainly kicking power, but lofted 85 with pinpoint crossing. If you position training for wide left, you could do a job for you. You could put some pretty decent crosses in. Obviously great on the ball and great pace, so potentially it could be a very decent option for you if you like. If you want to be whipping a lot of crosses in. And then you've got centre forward as well. In fact, you could make him well, you can't make him an attacking mechanic because he's a right wing forward. You can make him an SS. SS I wouldn't do much different to a right wing forward build, to be honest. Although, to be honest, I'd probably do this build actually as an SS because he's got a bit of a boost on his passing, hasn't he? So if you gave him 1-touch pass to go through passing, position training for SS, if you wanted to do that, you won't have that their playing style, could definitely be an option there, albeit physical contact's a bit low in that area of the pitch. But yeah, centre forward, last position we could train him for. You only need to increase his proficiency by 1 for centre forward. Let's just see what auto allocation tells us. it tells us his finishing is not high enough. That's already with 8 on shooting, so you can't really afford to scrimp enough points from elsewhere to get that shooting up. So I wouldn't personally do that. Won't have an active playing style. Finishing won't be good enough. You'd need to give him first time shot. Yeah, I don't think it's worth making a centre forward, but certainly as a right wing, I'll just leave him on auto allocation. It's going to be fantastic on the ball, the pace and the dribbling. He's got a bit of end product, good attacking awareness, which has been boosted a bit. Decent balance, yeah, nice version of Yamal. Like I say, there will no doubt be better versions over the course of time, plenty of them, and there have been some pretty nice ones already. But you might have one already that you like, in which case you might not need this one. But you might have one already that you don't think is better than this one. It might be the playing style that makes the difference for you. For me personally, I like the Roman Flat playing style, so I'm quite keen on this version of him. I'll be very pleased if I get it for one of my spins. And yeah, I think a lot of people will be very happy if we get him. It might only be a free one, it might not be a massive boost from his GP card, but it's a decent enough boost to make it a very nice card. I think a lot of people will be very happy if they get this guy. And we'll finish off with Lever. So Lever, of course, has a face scan. He's a goal poacher as always, unwavering form. And skill-wise, pretty much what you'd expect from Lewandowski. Got heading, outgrowth finishing, first time shot, long range shooting. He's not got long range curler. You might want to give him a long range curler. You might want to give him aerial superiority, make him a bit stronger in the air. Depends if you're putting a lot of crosses in, but let's train him up on eFootball Hub, see how good this Lever card is. Where is eFootball Hub? There it is. So he's decent, but it's not amazing. We've had better versions of Lever. We've had, he's kind of okay, but it just depends if you're comparing to other versions of Lewandowski, which version you're comparing him to. We've had better versions in Player of the Week. We've had better highlight cards, but we've had other versions that aren't better. But it's certainly not the most exciting version of him. And it's in terms of the way they're boosting him, it's quite, I don't want to say lazy, but it's a very uninteresting boost, because if you look at him compared to the recent Barca pack, the one in the recent Barca pack has 3 more on speed, whereas this one's got 3 more balance. If you look at the version when the big update came out last year, there was a free one that came out. I think it was one that you could put an extra booster on. That one had 3 more on physical contact. This one's got 3 more on balance. That's basically it. You got a boost on balance. Those previous 2 I just mentioned, one got a boost on speed, one's got a boost on physical contact. Apart from that, that's basically it. Not a lot of difference. So it's a very uninteresting boost that they're giving him, really. It's +4 they put on his balance compared to his GP card. The rest of his attributes mostly 1, attack awareness and ball control 2, and that's about it. He's got the same number of levels as his GP card as well, so it's not much of a boost from his GP card, and it doesn't stack up that well against the other versions of him, certainly the better versions. So if you don't have any feature version of Lewandowski, Player of the Week or Highlight, then it could be a decent one for you to have. Certainly got qualities, but if you do have a decent version, then I'm not sure this is going to be really that worthwhile for you. So yeah. That's not to say it's a bad card, though. Obviously, it's a decent enough card, but he's a goal poacher who's not very quick. So for a lot of people, including me, that will be frustrating. I don't like slow goal poachers. It's not so important on other playing styles like Fox in the Box or Target Man. But for a goal poacher is constantly going to be on the looking to get in behind the defense, making runs in behind, and you need pace for that. So. Yeah, like I say, it's not going to be a concern for everyone. Some people don't mind a poacher not having too much pace. Depends on how you play. It depends on how you're going to use him. But that is a concern, the lack of pace for me. But he's got decent kicking power. He's obviously got good finishing. His attack awareness is absolutely ridiculous at 99. You could obviously afford to lose some points from there, but you'd lose a bit of his acceleration and his balance. You do have some more balance to play with this time. So, I mean, if you're really not too bothered about the acceleration, you could nick some points off dexterity there, but how much speed are you going to get? You're going to get up to 80 for speed, 90 kicking power. I personally think that's worth doing. Got 1 point spare still. I'll put it on passing. Yeah, speed up to 80, still not going to be quick. Obviously, we've lost some acceleration, but kicking power at 90, that will make a difference to his shots. Still at 90, finishing there. You actually nick a couple from finishing. Is it worth boosting him elsewhere? Make him a bit better on the ball, maybe? Yeah, I'd be tempted to do something like that. That kicking power will make a bit of a difference behind his shots. He's still got outstanding attacking awareness there, and the balance is still over 80, which it isn't always on Lewandowski. And we've got a bit more speed, even if there's less acceleration. So yeah, you could do that. If you want to do more of an aerial build, as I mentioned, you could give him aerial superiority. If you're going to do that, I'll take 1 more off dexterity there. Take that point off passing. Let's just see, can we make him an aerial beast? How good can we make him in the air? You can get him up to 90 jumping. Nice. You can almost get to 90 on physical contact. And that leaves us 274 jumping height. Is that worth it? Is that going to make him a beast in the air? Not really. It looks like he's going to be very good in the air. You know, the heading's 93. Obviously, when he does win headers, he's going to be fantastic at heading, in theory at least. Although 99% of my headers lately are going over the bar, even with strikers who are good at heading, which is very frustrating. But yeah, jumping 90, physical 89. He should win his fair share of headers, but he's not going to be totally dominant. He's not going to be, you know, he's not nowhere near the same level as players like Carlo or, you know, Lorenzo, Luca, whoever. 274 is still not amazing for his jumping height, but it's decent enough. He will win some headers. So if you put a lot of crosses in, you might want to build him something like that. It could be effective. Or if you leave him with the auto allocation or do what I did, just up to you. Really, he's obviously got the most important things with the awareness and finishing. It's just the pace is lacking, which doesn't marry up very well with his playing style for me. But yeah, he's got a bit of a boost on his balance, and if you don't have a good version of Lewandowski, it could well be a very decent striker for you to pick up if the profile works for you, if you don't mind the pace being a bit on the low side. But like I say, we've had quite a few versions of Lewandowski in Player of the Week and highlight cards, which are better than this one, so I'm not sure too many people will be that excited to get this version of him, especially with the boost they've given him from his GP card being a little bit boring and not too different to the last couple of free versions. Well, the free version and the one in the Barca pack. So yeah, not a particularly exciting version of Lewandowski, but it's not a bad card in isolation. Obviously, looking at all the stats, it is decent. It could be very effective for a lot of people. I just don't think too many people are going to feel that they particularly need this card, really. So there's your Barca pack with your somewhat free cards. I think there's some decent ones in there. If you don't have a good version of Koundé and Lewandowski, they could still be good for you, but I don't think they stack up too well against other versions. Koundé potentially does, just depends on what you want from him, what position you want to use him in and so on. But yeah, the previous free Koundé was a slightly better one, and there've been quite a few better Lewandowskis. Raphinha, I think primarily because his GP card does seem to have been boosted over in recent times. That does make this version of him pretty good compared to previous highlight cards, even if he's not been boosted that much from his GP card. And then Pedri and Yamal, I think those two are definitely the pick in the pack. I think they're pretty decent versions of both those cards. If you get either of those cards, or certainly if you get both of them, I think both those cards are very decent. It'd be well worth having. For me personally, I'll be very happy if I get those two. So yeah, these are it's somewhat free. Like I say, I keep saying somewhat because you're only going to get 3 of them for free. But if you do get either Yamal or Pedri for free, I think you could have a really nice free on your hands. But even the other 3 for a lot of people could well be decent ones. Could be well worth having. So yeah, there you go. I hope you found this useful. Let me know what you think of these players in this pack. Let me know who you've got. I will be doing reviews of the other packs that I've said I'm going to review, and there's the Belgian pack, there's the Italy pack, and the European National Doodah, whatever you call it. So I'll be doing those reviews as soon as I can. I'll hopefully get at least one of them done tomorrow or Monday, hopefully more than that. So yeah, keep your eyes up for those videos. I'm going to try and stream on Monday as well. So hopefully I'll see you soon, either for a stream or for one of the upcoming video reviews. Thank you for watching as always. Do really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Take care of yourselves. See you later.